Nicole might end up being one of the most interesting support characters we've seen in a while, and the reason isn't just her shield. It's the way her entire kit seems to scale around reactions and team synergy. A new rumor just dropped showing what looks like Nicole's full kit: skill, burst, weapon, and even constellations. And if even half of this turns out to be real, she could end up enabling some very unusual team compositions. So in this video, we're going to break down what the rumor actually says, how her mechanics supposedly work, and why players are already theorycrafting some pretty crazy team setups around her. Before we dive in though, quick reminder: this rumor is still unconfirmed. Kit rumors change all the time during development, so nothing here should be treated as final. But even with that in mind, there's a lot here that's worth looking at. First, let's talk about the core idea behind Nicole's kit. According to the rumor, she's a 5-star Pyro catalyst character designed almost entirely as an off-field support. That means she's not meant to stay on the field dealing damage herself. Instead, her job seems to be enabling the rest of your team, but the way she does that is where things start to get interesting. Her elemental skill reportedly creates a shield that scales with her attack stat. At first, that might sound pretty standard, but the twist is that this shield doesn't just sit there absorbing damage. It actually stacks over time. Every time Nicole performs a normal attack, the shield gains another layer. And on top of that, every time your team triggers a pyro-related reaction like vaporize, melt, or overload, the shield gains another stack as well. So instead of a single shield that eventually breaks, this one could actually grow stronger during combat if your team is constantly triggering reactions. For reaction-heavy teams, that could be a huge deal, but the shield is only part of the story. Because when you look at her burst, that's where the real support potential shows up. According to the rumor, Nicole's burst gives an attack buff to every party member except herself. That alone already signals that she's designed as a pure support character. But the buff apparently gets stronger depending on the type of team you're running. And this is where we get into something called a hexencircle team archetype. If certain characters from that group are present, and their elements participate in reactions during the burst window, the attack buff becomes stronger. And if multiple of those characters are involved, the team can even gain an additional damage bonus. In other words, Nicole might not just be a general support. She could be a character designed to enable a specific type of team composition. Now, of course, that's where a lot of speculation starts. Because the moment this rumor appeared, players immediately started asking the same question: who would actually benefit from this the most? One of the biggest discussions right now revolves around a potential Varka-centered team. Varka has been one of the most anticipated characters in the game for years, and fans immediately started imagining what a reaction-focused support like Nicole could do for a hyper-carry setup built around him. Other players are looking at characters like Arlecchino, since she already scales very well with attack buffs and thrives in teams that constantly trigger pyro reactions. If Nicole really does provide a stacking shield and a strong team-wide attack buff, that kind of synergy could be extremely valuable. But there's another piece of the rumor that's also getting attention: her signature weapon. The weapon is rumored to be a catalyst that gives both energy recharge and attack percent, which is basically perfect for her kit. She needs energy to keep her burst active, and she needs attack to strengthen her shield. But the interesting part is the passive. Apparently, whenever Nicole creates or strengthens her shield, the weapon grants a team-wide damage bonus. Considering how often her shield might be stacking during a reaction-heavy fight, that passive could theoretically trigger very frequently. So if all of this holds true, Nicole's entire design seems built around a single idea: create a support character who rewards teams that constantly trigger reactions. Of course, right now the community is pretty split on how strong that actually sounds. Some players are extremely excited, especially fans of characters who could benefit from strong attack buffs. Others are a little more cautious, mainly because mechanics tied to specific team archetypes sometimes end up being more niche than they first appear. Until we actually see gameplay, it's impossible to know which side will end up being right. But one thing is certain: Even as an early rumor, Nicole is already generating a lot of theorycrafting, and that usually means players see potential. So now I'm curious what you think. If this version of Nicole's kit turns out to be close to the final design, would you actually pull for her? And what kind of team would you want to run her in? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns of upcoming characters, rumors, and patch updates, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.